Good afternoon, Maine lobster fans, Florida and Bahama lobster tail fans, and South African lobster fans, and welcome to a special National Lobster Day edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox on WWNN Radio. 1470, 95.3, 96.9, WWNNtalkradio.com, and also now streaming live on multiple channels on your computers, desktops, phones, gadgets, whatever, at South Florida Live on YouTube and also Facebook, South Florida Live. Boy, that was a mouthful. And welcome aboard. Happy Wednesday, Defo and Lubie. How are you both?
I'm doing great. Lubie appears to be okay. So occupied here.
I'm great, actually. I love a lobster roll. My wife lives for them. You know, Defo loves everything seafood.
Got lobster rolls we'll talk about. Lobster Newburg. Have you ever had lobster Newburg? It's kind of like a cream sauce there.
Yes,
That,
great.
yes. I prefer straight up. I mean, I got hooked on Maine lobsters while many years ago in California and I mentioned his place before. Alan Hale, who was the skipper on Gilligan's Island, among other acting roles, but primarily known as that. But he actually had a restaurant, I believe was on La Cienega Boulevard, called Alan Hale's Lobster Barrel. And it was very popular. Naturally, he was kind of a popular figure. And you've got one there. I love when you bring props into the show.
This is not a prop. This is a live, well, not live anymore. It's edible.
Where'd you
treat.
get this? Tropical Acres? Where'd you find this thing?
What a wild guess. Yes, our lovely sponsor, Tropical Acres. I called him this morning because Jim Sarney, the official statistician and unofficial executive producer and sometime mascot of the Lunchbox radio show podcast.
He's our biggest fan, though, too. I mean, he's
great.
Of the show. Yeah,
he's absolutely great. He was poised to come out to Even Keel today, but Brad had to call an audible and was unable to do the live show today at Even Keel, which would have been perfect because they have a great lobster roll out there at Even Keel, A1A Commercial Boulevard. We're going to go out there next Wednesday to do our usual monthly remote show out there. But in the meantime, Sarney pointed out, actually, there's two National Lobster Days, if you look according to the calendar from the Ministry of Silly Food Holidays, which is always enraging. There's also apparently one in September. But to me, summertime is lobster time. We're on the verge of the summer solstice next Tuesday. And I guess on the calendar, June 15th is one of the National Lobster Days. So I think nothing says summer like a big old steamed Maine lobster. And I called our friends over at Tropical Acres this morning because I was going to run over to a seafood store and they didn't have any. So I know that Tropical Acres runs that, the twin lobster specials now every Monday through Friday, $35 for two of these, which is, you can't beat it. You get two of these things with the side and the salad for $35. But they were nice enough. I said, hey, I wanted to, now we're doing this video streaming. And Sarney said, why don't you show people how you actually eat a whole Maine lobster?
Oh, Jesus.
Pull apart. You actually
watch this?
Meat from the shell? I mean, knowing you probably just with the crunchiness you like. You just eat it in the shell.
Back in the old days, Lubie would actually kind of like pick up the claw and talk like this, and that's the way it works. But no, I thought it might be fun, and I got to lean into the microphone here because it's, we got all kinds of things are going on here. But
got a little Bob Shepherd effect working.
The main part. Okay, so we've got our lobster and lemon, and when you're going to be cooking up a lobster, and you're going to be dunking it in your clarified butter. Get high quality butter.
That's a lot of butter there, Mayo.
I'm
those arteries are hardening as we speak.
You know what they say: you eat enough butter, you turn into butter bean, and that's the way I'm going.
Happen.
So, and then I have my little bowl for the shells, and you never know if the water is going to come dripping out of it. Yeah. And of course, you need your proper instruments. And
what are you using?
I've got
a
nutcracker, and you got the little fork to get into the other parts. Now, when you eat a lobster, some people just are lazy and they just have the tail cracked open for them and they just eat the tail meat. But some of the sweetest and best meat in a lobster, there's the claw part, the knuckles, and then you go on the body, and then you can pick apart little parts of the body. It's like going for some of those crabs, the Old Bay crabs, and
do you eat the green stuff? I mean, is that your thing?
Now that
green stuff.
No, that's called That's called the tamal. It's like not tamales.
It's like bone marrow or something.
Yeah, it's kind of like guts.
Yeah.
And some of the foodies like it. I
I
go
don't like
back and forth.
No, no.
But here we are. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to let you guys talk a little bit about anything you want. It could be lobster related. It could be sports related. But I'm going to start cracking this
I feel
thing.
like Defo needs to do play-by-play.
Huh?
Yeah. All right. There you go. You got Mike Mayo, and he's on the threshold of a heart attack, but he's eating a lot of iodine and seafood. He's got drawn butter, a giant
lobster.
bowl of it, not even like a little cup that you dip it in, but a giant bowl. And he's going to crack this thing open. He's usually pretty disgusting when he eats on air. And I think he's trying to be as obnoxious as he possibly can be, but he's got the juice coming out of the claw. And that's a good one to start with, Michael, because then you stick that little fork in there and you get that one end of the claw. That's always a tricky part.
Oh, you hear that?
That's why I like to start.
Actually,
You want to save the tail for last if you're doing it.
Oh, yeah. The tail is
so now what is the size here? Is this a pound and a quarter job?
The ones that they serve at Tropical Acres for their nightly special, the twin lobsters, is between a pound and a quarter. They're called chick lobsters.
Chicken lobsters, yes.
Well, and again, some people don't like the small
No, they're very
ones.
tasty. That's what they had at Allen Hale's. They had the chicken lobster. It was like a pound and a quarter. I believe at the time with a salad, a baked potato, another side of vegetables and dessert, and maybe even a glass of wine. The whole thing was like $7.95. Which it was like a Monday night special, and I used to make a routine. It was actually sort of a Monday night ritual to go there with my girlfriend at the time, and we would go in there and have a lobster dinner. And then we could not wait to get to Maine to have a lobster because we figured it was going to be real cheap. And we took a trip around the country, went to Maine, and the lobster was more expensive in Maine than it was in Allen Hale's Lobster Barrel, or consequently, maybe at Tropical Acres now. All right, what do you got? You get the meat straight out there.
I pulled the claw out. It broke apart a little bit, but here I am. I'm gonna. I got it in my butter, and it's dripping around
Nice.
It looks
And
like
here we
you're going
go.
to put that dish over your
This
head.
is great.
Don't do that now.
Oh my God! Is he putting his face in the butter?
Oh wow! Stuffing his face with butter is Mike Mayo.
You can never make fun of me again. This is the grossest thing.
Now, the thing is,
you really are one of the more disgusting eaters I've ever seen, Mike. I mean, for a guy who is a food critic, did you just leave the tablecloth splattered and then have the people figure by the level of carnage and whether they were getting a favorable review?
The way I look at it, Defo, eating is a contact sport. You got to get a little messy in the trenches.
I like the approach, man. It's very much Mikey likes it.
I just ate the first claw, and the thing with the claws, it's very similar to stone crab claws, where in the middle you have the cartilage, that little bit of cartilage. You don't want to bite down too hard because it'll crack, and then you get a little shrapnel in your mouth. What you want to do is bite down gently and pull it out. You can pull out this cartilage bit, and if those who are watching on video,
looks like you pulled out your dentures there.
I was gonna say, you sure that's the lobster?
And you just kind of.
You're gonna look like a hockey player by the end.
And then you have nothing but the sweet claw meat, and you dunk that. Some people just want it plain, straight up.
You haven't even gotten to the tail yet. I mean,
we're gonna work our way through this.
All right.
Okay, let me ask you. First of all, if you're listening on the radio and www.nntalkradio.com, you can check out everything here. But also, not everyone is on the video, so you can check it out later. South Florida Live, YouTube, also the South Florida Live Facebook page, and also Let's Eat South Florida posted the link, and Best of Delray Beach, Best of Delray posted the link. Okay, so everyone says Maine lobster for the most part, right? You're the food critic.
Maine and Nova Scotia, it's basically interchangeable.
The Northeast,
cold
that
Atlantic,
area, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but the Florida lobster is a big deal down here. What is the major difference for you, the guy who's great at describing how things taste? Why is there such a difference? Do you taste such a difference between the northeastern lobster and the South Florida, the Florida lobster?
Well, in a nutshell, it's water temperature and also body type. The Maine lobster, you deconstruct and eat the whole body. The lobsters that are available here are basically the Bahamas and the Florida lobster are called spiny lobsters. They're called that because they don't have claws. It's basically just a spine and a tail. And I guess they must have claws. I never seen a picture of a whole one. All I know is that when they end up in the store, all you see these really big, really wide and fat tails. Now, these tails, because it's warmer water, tend to be a little bit on the mushier side. And on the and again, the water, when you go down deep, it's cold, but it's still a little bit differences in terms of the North Atlantic and here. And the Florida lobster, there are people who grill them and they do it with lime butter and they jazz it up. And it comes out really good, but I'm just more of a traditionalist. I like the Maine lobster. I like the firmness and the sweetness of the meat. The Bahamas and the Florida spiny lobsters, sometimes, again, the texture can be a little bit mushier and a little bit duller flavor, just not as sweet. But maybe I've just been eating them at the wrong places. And they also tend to run extremely expensive because the tails are much wider and packed with meat. But I don't even know what they're up to now. But usually you could find a Maine lobster for anywhere between $12.99 and $18.99 a pound, and the Florida Bahama lobster tails go in the neighborhood of usually $29 to $39 a pound.
Oh, wow.
Because it's a lot more meat and a lot less work, and people are lazy when it comes to stone crabs too.
I don't think it's comparable, really. The first time I had a Caribbean lobster down here in South Florida, and they said lobster dinner and whatever. I was extremely disappointed because I was accustomed to my Allen Hale's Lobster Barrel Maine lobsters or Maine
Yep.
lobsters anywhere. I find the meat in a Maine lobster much more tender. I think the Caribbean lobster was made for grilling, whereas you would be, you can go ahead and do a Maine lobster a lot of different ways, but it's definitely not anywhere close to as tasty. And usually you would have to do some kind of seasoning to a Caribbean lobster, whereas a Maine lobster is an entity. Even if you didn't have the drawn butter, it would still be very, very tasty. All right, so you get into the legs and all of that. I mean,
the whole thing.
you big on all of that? I find that too much work. I usually just toss that part of the body.
The legs. Some people, you can kind of
You can kind of suck on them and get like a little bit of meat out, but it really is at the tail end of a wild.
The juice is
party.
flying over all over my computer. I'm gonna end up frying my keyboard here, but you could just suck out the meat on the legs. I don't think it's worth it either. I think it's much better to get into the body, and there's better meat when you kind of get up and in all the guts, and sometimes you separate out the knuckles and stuff. And anyway, I'm making a big old mess here. How about we get to the tail? You want to see how the tail?
Yeah, that's
Sounds
the
like
best
an
part.
easy one for me.
Yeah, that's the
you
best
just,
part.
crack it and smack it there.
You could crack it and smack it. I like doing it. The He-Man way, where you kind of crack it with your bare hands. But I usually get a paper towel. So excuse me for a second while I get up here.
You should see. I mean, for the people that aren't watching the video here on South Florida Live,
This is
I mean,
classic.
gesticulations and the convulsions that Mayo is going through to try and eat a lobster. You're making
got
it much more
yeah,
complicated than it usually is.
I was gonna say.
You should just have the waiter do it for you when you go to a restaurant, Mike. Because
wait, did you hear that? I just cracked it with my bare hands.
you look like Dusty Rhodes putting a final chokehold
Exactly,
on
it's like a
somebody
wrestling
here.
move.
Well, you're wrestling this thing. I mean, I thought you were just going to eat
Like
it,
I
but-
said, eating is a contact sport. So now I've basically done the first cracking of the lobster inward, and then you kind of separate it out. And it's hard to show this. It's going to fly everywhere. And
see, I usually come away with two nice pieces
nice
of
pieces.
tail meat there. When you finally, without having to do a whole lot of dissection. I mean, it seems pretty easy.
You got to break off the little fins at the end there, and then you kind of take all that off.
See, now I'll occasionally try to suck a little meat out of those fins also.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you're disappointed because you come up
That's
empty on
nice.
that. Yeah. All right. So you have this thing. I mean, are you going to eat it, or are you just going to toss it out the window? What are you doing with this?
I might save some for Mom and give it to her for lunch. But let's see. Wait, I'm going to get this whole the whole tail out. And
I hope you didn't change your oil before you did all of this in your car.
And I'm doing this without a bib too, so it's
And we can
here
tell.
we go.
We've seen it. I mean, okay, now you're talking here. This is
Yeah,
from
that's a nice
whole
chunk of meat.
tail. And when you get the tail out, what you want to do is you peel away. There's like a little flap, and you pare this down. This is all good meat to eat. That little flap, but what you're going to see in the middle is the vein. It's usually this
That's
black
it.
or red
You're
thing.
gonna
and
pop
you
that
just
into butter.
you just take out that vein, because that vein is hard to digest, and you don't want to have that in here. But and then you've got a full tail, and I'm going to split it.
That's a nice
I'm going to
chunk.
split it. I'm going to kind of pull it apart in half lengthwise, and I'm going to give half to my mom. I'm going to give half to my mom,
I'm
and
not
I'm
sure
going to
she's
just
going to want that after the way you handle it. Speaking of lobster rolls, now I don't think you're a fan of this place for some reason, because they managed to put a lot of sort of advertising type material. I think maybe even on Let's Eat South Florida, but Killer Dogs, Atlantic west of Congress, suggested here by our friend Paul. on the chat line says they have a great lobster roll, and I've seen pictures of them. They look fantastic. I never had a chance to get one. The one time I was up in that area, they were closed on Mondays. But I've always been tempted. If a food picture or food porn could tempt you into going to a place to try something, the picture of the woman serving the lobster rolls at Killer Dogs on Atlantic west of Congress always is a temptation, I would have to say. I don't know what your feeling is about that place.
The place has its fans. I can't speak to it. I haven't eaten there, and what I hear from other people who are in the know is that they might use some fillers apart from lobster.
Oh,
I'm
is
not
that what
sure.
it is? You don't trust it?
There you
You
go.
don't trust it. Is that what it is?
Now,
The evil filler.
I
Yeah.
can't speak to that. Again, I haven't been there, but I've heard from other people. So I can't say anything yes or no.
All right.
And my feeling is this: if a place has fans and they've been in business a long time, then God bless them. They must be doing something right. But when people mention lobster rolls, lately the big one that's been getting a lot of play on the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group, 80,000 strong, run in conjunction with our friends at the Sun Sentinel, and the Wicked Cheesesteaks up in Fort Lauderdale.
That's
on
what I
Federal
hear.
Highway.
Oh, we got one the other day.
Naughty
Shirley got
Dog
it. It was great.
also mentioned. Naughty Dog also gets a mention.
Yeah, Naughty Dog. And
what do you want to pay
but-
for a lobster roll, though? What do you think?
well, here's
price
the
range
thing:
is?
if you're
Yeah.
getting a proper lobster roll that's like nothing but meat and claw, and even some people use, most people use claw and body meat, some of the knuckles. Some places will actually use some of the tail meat too. That's high quality stuff, and
Yeah. I'm expecting a little tail, as they say, if I'm getting a lobster
Well,
roll.
all right, I'm going to just give it a rundown. Some of my favorite places for lobster rolls, of course, Even Keel, because they do it on this beautiful
They do a
brioche,
nice
and I
job.
think you've had it there, Lubie.
Yes.
And they use all the high quality Maine lobster, fresh poached, and I think it's up to $29, or it might even be $32. Lobster's gotten very expensive. It's
Yes.
unfortunate. So the price of a lobster roll has also shot up, and used to be some places like this Cousins lobster food truck. I think they were going for 19.
Oh, that was
but
huge. Yeah.
now they're up to 22. I don't like their meat. It comes out of cryovac bags. It has no flavor to me. It's and again, I don't know. I didn't like the way they chopped it up, and the way I don't know about well, whatever. People, if it's been a success in terms of marketing. People love those Cousins lobster food trucks that go around. But when I would need a lobster roll, I'm going to Kelly's Landing in Fort Lauderdale because they do a proper, they're a New England ownership that does things the proper way. Really good lobster. They also have steamed lobster dinners and lunches, and just platters like this. But they do the lobster roll. It's either the Maine style, which is cold and tossed with a little mayonnaise, or they do the Connecticut style, which is warm and dunked in drawn butter. Also,
Which
on
one? Which one are you
So
getting?
that's what I was going to ask. I like the warm one.
Yeah.
Shirley leans toward the cold.
I like the warm myself because you get more of the lobster.
get more
Sometimes the
lobster.
mayonnaise. Although in the heat of the summertime, sometimes that classic Maine with a little dollop of mayonnaise and some of the celery, it's pretty good too. Hey, you know what time it is, Defo? It is time to talk about some of the great deals you could get around town. And tomorrow we're going to be doing our weekly Visit Lauderdale,
Do you have a spot?
Lauderdale segment with Nikki Mohan. We're going to be going to. It's summertime, and that means ice cream season. We're
Yes.
going up to Wilton Manors. Wilton Creamery is a place that's been in business almost 8 years. They're celebrating their 8th anniversary next week on the 21st. And up in Wilton Manors, they're on Wilton Drive, Wilton Creamery. And it's going to be, this is Pride Month, and the Wilton Manors Big Pride Parade is this Sunday. So we're going to be getting into the spirit of things by going up to Wilton Creamery, and they're also getting into the festivities. They're creating, I talked to the owner this morning, DJ, and he is creating a special rainbow flavor in celebration of Pride weekend. And he's using a base of red velvet cake, and that will be multicolored ice cream. We're going to be out there tomorrow talking to him about all things ice cream. He's a classically trained chef who it's kind of an interesting story how he happened to open this Wilton Creamery, and it's been a great success. And they provide ice cream and desserts to some of the top restaurants around town too. And these are the kinds of things that are going on all over Greater Fort Lauderdale. These beautiful diversity and great food and even ice cream and summertime treats. That's why you want to go onto visit lauderdale.com/deals, and you could check out all the good deals that they're having this summer. It's called Lauder Deals, where you can enjoy the good life for less, and you get great deals on dining, hotels, attractions, spas, and more all summer long. So start planning your summer getaway online at visitlauderdale.com/deals and see all the ways you can save. You can find great hotel deals, everything from luxury beach resorts to family-friendly suites. You can indulge in food and drink specials at local restaurants and bars. Shop Lauder Deals for exciting attractions like Flamingo Gardens and Butterfly World. Plus, if you're a Florida resident, a first responder, or in the military, you'll find even more deals just for you. From miles of golden beaches to pampering at celebrated hotels and resorts, the good life awaits in Greater Fort Lauderdale. So shop Lauder Deals now at visitlauderdale.com/deals and plan your best summer vacation getaway ever.
Always good, people. Make sure you tune in tomorrow to Mike Mayo's Lunchbox at 12 noon. The lovely Nikki Mohan, longtime distinguished newscaster here and reporter in South Florida, was dynamite on the weekends with Todd Tongan, who had kind of an interesting offbeat segment, Todd's Taxi, which was always great and a lot of fun. Real good guy. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore, but Nikki is, and that'll be a lot of fun tomorrow on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, which continues on this Wednesday edition with Mayo cleaning up all of the mess that he made with that live Maine lobster in a moment.
It's a massacre. And we're back on the Lunchbox on National Lobster Day. Here with Defo and Lubie, and now I'm going to get the microphone out. Hand work the mic now so we could hear me better instead of me just
National Lobster
eating
Day.
lobster, cracking claws and things like that. Yeah, I did an okay job. I didn't get all the way into the body meat, and there's a lot. I could show people, that's the stuff. The guts are dripping out there. Sometimes it's green, but this stuff.
Don't eat the green stuff on the air, please.
Please
don't.
Don't
eat the green stuff.
If you mix that up, it's like it's a real delicacy, and people sometimes toss it with a little pasta. It's whatever.
You could toss it right in the trash.
I was gonna say
that would be the place to toss it.
You're about to have me toss it.
you could put it on your skyline chili too, and you probably wouldn't know any better.
Lobster, though, not to make a drug comparison here, but in some ways it was a little bit like cocaine, which would force you to think that hey, maybe I spilled some into the rug, and then you would go actually through like a shag rug and try and find the one little piece. And with lobster, it's the same way. So you want to keep enjoying it, and you end up somebody will say, "Oh yeah, eat the green stuff; it's great," and then you try it, and it ruined the taste of the
Yeah,
entire lobster. I mean, you may as well have
You
not eaten
just
the
you
whole
just
thing to
haven't
begin with.
you haven't developed your palate enough there, Defo.
I've
Or
developed my palate to the point where the green stuff is horrible, and
gross.
I mean, I'm willing to admit it. I don't have to be so sophisticated to say, "Oh, well, this is great," even though it tastes like crap. I would rather eat like liver and onions at Denny's. There you go.
in this case, it's not green; it's more on the yellowish side, a little bit like the bile. No, it's tasty. It's tasty.
All right,
It's
good. Yeah, you go
something
ahead and
different.
have that, Mike
Making
Mayo.
you sick
That's
to my
excellent.
stomach.
Yeah, go ahead and ruin your lunch.
We're having some fun. Hey, did you see that Coco Gauff won again today at some?
I was
tune-up
watching a
show?
little of that. Coco's
Yeah.
looking good. We were talking about it, and it was interesting because you, of course, have a huge newspaper background, much of which was in sports, and this would be one of Jim Sarney's beefs, and it's more due, I think, than anything else to the fact that they only have like two guys on the staff now at the Sun Sentinel, Dave Hyde and Ira Winderman, and they're writing the whole paper. But and I guess we have
Furones.
David.
Furones.
Yeah,
Our buddy Dave
Furones,
Furones is
who
there, yep.
is always on top of things, including this
Well,
wild
Mark Kelly.
Dolphin story about how they tried to get Tom Brady here. Now gathering more steam and more evidence that there really was some truth to that whole thing. And it's kind of crazy to anticipate the diverse directions the Dolphins management took. But back when I was writing for the Ontario Daily Distort, or Daily Report as it was more commonly known, which had a motto of yesterday's news tomorrow. If there was a local athlete, and there were a lot of really top-notch local athletes in that area, the Inland Empire of Southern California, I mean, we followed everything they did. If you had a Coco Gauff in the finals of the French Open in both singles and doubles, they would be sending the entire staff over there, and it would almost be front page news. Where now, I mean, you hardly see any attention being paid to this young woman from this area that at 18 years old, if you're not following her on social media, you don't even know what she's doing, even though here she is on Network International Television this morning playing one of the early round matches in this tournament in Germany.
Yeah, what can you say? The newspaper business. If anybody watched 60 Minutes this past Sunday,
Oh
they
yeah,
did
was that a repeat? I think I've
it was
seen
a
that story
repeat
before.
of
Yeah,
it was a repeat because they're in their replay portion of
Yeah.
the season of
Yeah, it's a
things
summer.
that they first aired in the
Very interesting,
fall
though.
and
Yeah.
winter, and it's just about the whole consolidation and gutting of the daily newspaper business in this country, and some of the regional papers have basically downsized dramatically. And some
Many
of them
don't publish
exist.
at all anymore, right? I mean, they
That's
just
right.
have like a digital platform once a week or something like that.
Right. Some places have just gone to Sunday only for print editions, and yeah, I mean that's it. The world goes on, and
Nothing
I
like
guess
it. Nothing
we're
like it. I
less
got a
informed.
food item here out of the
Have it
post for you too,
online.
Mike Mayo.
Just
Yeah,
go
well,
online.
that's good, and
It's not the same reading a paper online. Do you find
I
that to be
know.
true? I just don't. I don't like it. I don't want to be thumbing through stuff. I want to open the thing in the appropriate place, which in my case happens to be in conjunction
Well,
with a rather lengthy movement in the morning, and I want to just kind of saunter my way through it. I like doing it that way and having it all in front of me.
I think that you are going to be fitting in perfectly with the new theme of WWNN, which is golden oldies.
Oldies,
and
yeah.
you're a golden oldie.
Well, you should respect this being in the newspaper business, but I did want to get
I'm
to
not
this
in the
also.
newspaper business
Have you seen this?
anymore. I'm all for digital now, and I tell you what.
Well, you
it's
were
like-
in it. I mean, don't you still have a little bit of ink in your blood? I mean,
Of
let's
course,
put it that way.
it's always going to run in my veins.
All
But the bottom line is, I've become now more accustomed to reading all my news from traditional news sources online, like the Sun Sentinel, the Miami Herald, the New York Times, and the Washington Post. I have digital
Very
subscriptions,
sophisticated choices there.
and I have print and digital. I get print and digital of all those publications, except the Washington Post. I'm digital only, but I get a Sunday New York Times and a Sunday Sun Sentinel, a Sunday Herald, and they're a lot thinner than they used to be. But the nice part is my eyes have gotten so bad because of whatever you call it, aging, and
It's called glaucoma, my friend. You
well,
can use
I can't read
certain elements to get rid of it.
the nearsightedness or whatever, and I have bifocal glasses. Sometimes I have bifocal contact lenses. The bottom line is it's a lot easier for me to read stories online on a phone or a tablet on my iPad than it is on the print edition.
And you
because I,
accuse me of being old? I mean, you barely can see the big E on the eye chart, and
I have
you're
to blow
telling me
up the.
I'm
I have to-
reading the agate here in the Post. But now check this out. This is right up your alley here, I clipped this out, or I took it out of the paper here just to run it by. The story is titled "Barrier to Entree." Okay, as in entree on a menu. $50 mains are the new normal. In other words, $50 entrees are the new normal. This is in New York. And have you ever heard of the Minetta Tavern? Minetta Tavern in New York.
Of course, yeah, it's
Famous
down in
for
the
their
village.
burgers.
Yeah.
Okay, they have a hamburger there that was very popular, and it was $33, which is already, you would say, Mike Mayo, a bit of an outrage. I mean, is that more than you ever want to pay for a burger? $33. It's now $38. So you're going to pay
for a
40
hamburger?
bucks for a hamburger. The Wagyu steak that was $72, the ribeye, is now $115, and that's at Carne Mare. Is that another place you're familiar with? These are all, I guess, famous New York joints.
That one I haven't heard of. I know
11
Minetta
Madison
Tavern.
Park. 11
Yeah,
Madison
that's-
Park has the all vegan prefix used to include tip. Not anymore. It's now $400. 400. I mean, I don't know if you can see this on
Well,
the
yeah,
thing.
that's one of the top places in the world, and foodies go there. It's a destination. It's probably gotten 3 Michelin stars, and along the lines of Thomas Keller.
$400
Well, again, it's tasting menus at these. No, it's ridiculous. I wouldn't pay it
for
except
vegetarian food. Get out of here.
Right? No, that's
Carrots and a beet.
It's very precise. They don't use chefs over there. This is the thing. They hire surgeons from the
Surgeons.
from the Cornell Medical Center. And that's why your vegetables come out so precise, and they charge
I
the
guess,
same
yeah.
rates that you'll get if you go for a medical procedure these days. So look, the bottom line is that's a splurge occasion place, or
Yeah,
the
it's
1% billionaire hedge fund place. Most people aren't going there. Focusing down here,
It
we're
doesn't look
seeing
like
it-
much either for the 4 sticks.
Nah, I
I mean,
wouldn't. I'm not talking about 11 Madison Park. That's not my stratosphere. I'm gonna focus on the here and now South Florida, because look, inflation is real. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago where me and my daughter went out to this breakfast joint in Hallandale Beach that I liked it. The food is good. I gave it a positive review when it first opened like 3 or 4 years ago. But I went in there for breakfast, and we both had some eggs Benedict dishes, mine with chorizo and hers with salmon. She got one of those fancy iced latte drinks with Nutella.
well, that was a mistake. How did
I
you
got
let
a-
her order that?
Yeah, but I got a plain black coffee. She got the Nutella latte. We both have 2 things. We both got fruit as a side dish, and the waitress didn't tell us it was a $4 upcharge for each fruit
$4.
side dish. And
$4
so when I
upcharge.
got my
Nice.
bill, that included an 18% service charge for a party of 2 at a place in Hallandale. To already tack on a service
breakfast.
charge
Yeah.
for breakfast at a non-touristy place kind of blew my mind. So with the service charge, the tax, and the meals that didn't have any alcohol, it was $70 for 2
For breakfast. Wow.
For-
You could have
Yeah,
gone to
that's crazy.
Brennan's in New Orleans with me when we go there. in a
Exactly.
couple of
I mean, that was crazy to me.
Yeah.
And so these things, look,
How are the
that to
bananas
me-
fostered? Did you get that as part
No,
of
I
the
didn't.
$70
With the
tab?
beignets.
But
With a
the
full
bottom
bottle of
line
alcohol.
is restaurant meals are going to become more and more out of reach. And again, people are struggling, and the inflation, obviously. Look, restaurants need to charge more to be able to afford all their expenses, from food costs being higher, along with rents going up because landlords are charging more because they can, and also their insurance. And it's just like a never-ending loop. But the bottom line is, at some point, people can't afford to go out to eat, and just even a simple thing like a nearby diner near my house here, where my mom, I pick up a turkey dinner for her once a week, and she gets 3 lunches out of it because she doesn't eat as much, and it's a nice sized portion. But a year ago, it was $14 and change for this turkey dinner, and some days I would just hand them a $20 bill and said, keep the change. I would see them once a week. Now they've raised it a couple of times, and they did another price increase, and now they're charging 75 cents for takeout containers. So when
That's
I went,
become an issue, though. I mean, people. I was at a place the other night that I like called Brennan's. I got salad to take out. It literally came in 10 different little containers, And my friend Mike, who is one of the servers there and been involved, I guess, in some form of management, said that they are having just impossible times trying to get takeout
Yeah,
containers.
the supply issues are tough, so the price of those things are going up, and they're passing it on to the customer. The bottom line, my mom's turkey dinner a year ago, it was $14 and change. Then when I went to pay the other day, it was $21. So that's a
Wow.
50% increase in a
$7
year.
in a year.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
JV Stingers, I believe Monday night
So
the turkey special is $13.95, and it's very good.
Shenanigans,
Yeah,
they have a good turkey dinner special. I was in there last week for lunch, and it was $13.99. So I might have
that's
to
the way to
start
do it.
going to see Pat
That's a
Utter
nice one.
Yeah.
for my mom's lunch. But my mom, she's set in her ways. But Shenanigans, I want to put in a good word for them. It's been a
Could you
while
put
since-
it in a box from the other place, even though it came from Shenanigans, just for the purposes of baffling and buffaloing
She
your mother?
listens. She listens to the show, Defo, so she
Oh,
might
good. Hey,
catch
man,
wind of
how are
this.
you? I love
All
Mike
right.
Mayo.
East
Yeah,
Side Shenanigans. We love Pat Utter. I was just texting with him. They have 2 locations, and they have all kinds of beautiful food. The fresh fish sandwiches, the wings. You can't beat those blackened grilled wings. And you go in there, whatever you want. They have the barbecue items on the east side. The smoker is always going. Beautiful brisket and chicken and ribs. 2 locations: the east side, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania; the west side, across from TY Park on Sheridan Street. We love Shenanigans. They have late night dining. You go in there, all the big sporting events, from the racing during the daytime to the big ultimate fight, the UFC and MMA fights at night, along with traditional boxing. And we're getting to the end of the NBA finals. Go in there for the final game. I guess it's tonight, or it might be the final game tonight.
Tomorrow.
I don't know when game. Tomorrow they space them out so much.
Yeah, they
I don't
come
even know.
tonight.
Anyway,
the hockey eat starts tonight.
go to
Seahawks Eat.
Shenanigans. They have drink specials all day, all kinds of good draft beer on tap, nice and cold. And again, late night dining in the east side has the drive-through window for convenience. You just call ahead, pull on up, and they'll get your order right to you at your car window. Shenanigans, tell them that the Lunchbox crew of Mayo, Defo, and Lubie sent you.
Great place. Give a shout out last night, and this place faces a mixed bag of criticism and respect. Galuppi's was there last night. They had a special mahi fish dip that I thought was
Ooh.
outstanding, Mike Mayo. I mean,
Oh, that's
it
nice.
was made just the way I like it. Spicy enough and yet thick, not really, some runny gooey thing. And they really did a nice job with that. Reasonably priced. That was, I think, a special last night. I haven't seen it on the menu before, but very good. Galuppi's mahi fish dip. Mixed bag of reviews for that place, though, unfortunately, whether they're talking about the service and or certain items of food. But in general, a decent spot. All right, back with more on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox in a moment.
And we're back on the Lunchbox this Wednesday, National Lobster Day, and I'm celebrating by still picking apart and eating a lobster provided.
You got a piece sticking out of your ear there.
I was like, is he still eating the lobster?
Hold on. I got.
How many lobsters did you really have there?
I was gonna say, like,
this is 45 minutes later. You're still picking.
This is what I'm a slow eater. And this is the thing, when you have like what you call a luxury food, you don't want to just scarf it down. You savor every bite.
There you go.
Kind of, have a little lunchtime discussion with some friends, and then you go back to your meal. And here, I got a little knuckle on the knuckle meat. Whoa,
I'm glad you weren't around at the table when we were eating at Alan Hale's Lobster Barrel in Los Angeles.
And you thought Lubie was a slob, but look at this.
No, Lubie is a slob. I mean, if you ever saw the way that he approached this crab sandwich when we were on the Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco, he nearly got thrown out of the city there. I mean, it was so disgusting. He was wearing this thing on his face. And he then uses the bread bowl as a hat later to try and keep his ears warm, because it was like San Francisco in the wintertime, which it's already bad enough in the summertime. You don't know what you're going to get. But now, were you a wharf guy? You've been there many times, San Francisco, covering various sporting
talking
events.
lobster rolls.
What was? I mean, you had some go-to foo-foo place that you used to go when you were there. But were you inclined to go down to the wharf and just get like a crab sandwich?
Yeah, I mean, I did the touristy thing, and the weird part about the wharf.
See how he put that down subtly, Lubie?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Mayo. He throws in a little underhanded dig about the touristy thing.
That's it. It's where tourists go. Look,
as if we were peasants. As if we were peasants, Mike Mayo.
There's some restaurants there. Look, I love when I'm out in San Francisco and California. You get the Dungeness crabs, and those are nice.
There you go.
A little bit less work than the Maryland Blues, but when you go down to those little stands around Fisherman's Wharf, and they sell. Sometimes they sell the little crab cocktail, but it's way overpriced. And they also sell those rolls, but with the little tiny bay shrimp, or you ever see that where they make shrimp salad sandwiches, but it's not
that's
real
like the shrimp at Circus in Vegas.
It's like krill.
Yeah.
It's like the krill. It's
exactly.
something you usually see the fish eating when you go. You throw
the fish even turn their nose up at it.
Yeah, I don't like those little tiny shrimp.
The salad.
But getting back to here, again, you keep going to New York and San Francisco. I'm here. This is the South Florida Lunchbox, South Florida Live. We're talking South Florida restaurants, and I want to talk more places to get lobster and lobster rolls on National Lobster Day. So again, we thank our friends at Tropical Acres for providing this delicious sea treat.
Now, did you pay for that, or did they just lay it on?
No, this is compliments of them. When I tried to, I went in there, and Joe Studiali, Jack's son, was in there in the kitchen. He was butchering up some of the meat for tonight, and the kitchen crew's in there. And I said I needed a lobster for the show. And I said, I'll pay for it. And I pulled out a 20. He goes, no, this, if you're good. I said, okay, thanks very much.
Did
and
you work out the exception on the half-price wine night? So
no, we're going to get to that. Again, I'm going there for my
debt.
actual birthday, and this is my choice. This is where I love to go when I'm celebrating family occasions on Friday night. I'm going to be celebrating a birthday with my daughter and baby mama Michelle. We're going to Tropical Acres. They have the twin lobster special for $35. I'm going to get one of those. I'm going to make my daughter get either a fillet or a prime rib, and we do the surf and turf, split it up. But anyway, other places to go.
Very controlling of you to make her get something, though.
Yeah, wait, you make her get it?
Yeah. What is that? I mean, subtly, your evil nature is coming through here on the show.
What's the word you use for me that instead of
controlling? Yes.
Controlling? No, what was the other one?
Irascible.
Irascible. Yeah. No, I mean today you're in a good mood because you've got a lobster for breakfast.
Sometimes,
yeah,
it is.
There's a place out west I go to because look, you guys are very lucky out east. You have all these, not franchise out west. It's the opposite, but there's a place called Tin Fish.
I love Tin Fish.
It's very east. It feels like you're going out east, out west, and they do a nice job with a lobster roll and with their mahi as well.
He does a really nice lobster roll. He does really good classic clams and oysters on the hash shell. And the guy, he's a super nice guy. And I actually reviewed it and gave it a mixed review for the paper after they first opened. He took a negative review or mixed review better than just about any owner I've seen. He read it to his staff because I had some issues with the service when I was there. And we patched things up, and they've gotten better. And like every time I've gone back, I could see how they took the notes and improved upon things. And they do a hell of a good job there at Tin Fish. And again, for those of you out west, I think it's in Sunrise, and it's
Yep.
in that plaza that has a Doris's in there, and
Yep.
a couple of good Chinese places. Now it's called 1010. They have dim sum, but Tin Fish, really, really good stuff, and their lobster roll is good. Now, for people who want like a full steamed Maine lobster dinner, besides Tropical Acres and besides Kelly's Landings, there's some higher end places around town. You could go on a la Solis Boulevard. There's a place called Lobster Bar and Sea Grill, and they have all kinds of lobster dishes there.
What do you think of that place? Very popular with the
It's
city
good.
crowd,
It's
but
good. It's good. They do a
I
nice
haven't been there.
job. They do
Okay.
a nice job. Yeah, it's again good service, polished and pricey. Loch Bar, LOCH Bar in Meisner Park in Boca Raton also has a full arrangement of seafood, including lobster. And up in Delray Beach, there's a couple of places that are famous for lobster. I think Boston's on the beach probably does a lobster roll, right?
100%.
That's kind of more of a down
Lobster
home.
roll, maybe. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
what about Whale's Rib? Is that another
Well,
place?
that's in
that they-
Deerfield. You
yeah.
keep getting Deerfield and Delray confused. But
They're
that's
one and the
okay.
same to me. They're
No,
north.
they're not. They're in different counties with
It's about
different
20
people.
minutes north.
They're like, yeah, they're far away from each other.
And in Delray Beach now, Delray Beach along the Atlantic Avenue, their whole big drag. There's a couple places that are like steakhouses ostensibly, but they also have some good seafood and lobster stuff. A place called Avalon that just opened last year. It's kind of quite popular.
Is that the
And
South
also-
Beach extrapolation? There was a fish called
Yeah.
Avalon. One of
No,
the
that's
original-
not the same as
South
a
Beach
fish
places.
called Avalon.
Okay.
This is different. And there's also a place called Cut 432. I think they also have some seafood and lobster items on there. And again, you can find all the good restaurants in Delray Beach by downloading the Best of Delray Beach app at Best of Local on the App Store. Got my plug in there for my man Dickstein.
Nice.
He's coming back from Colorado. We're going to do some eating this weekend, and yeah, the party just rolls on. And
Is he
I
bringing
noticed
anything back from Colorado?
Yeah, wait. I was gonna say.
Rocky Mountain oysters, maybe.
No,
no.
He can't
Yeah.
transport anything.
I wasn't
else
thinking
across-
buffalo chips.
He can't transport that across state lines there.
All right.
So, what else was I going to say? I'm just all over the place now. I'm on a lobster. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the comments. There's a lot of people out there who don't or can't eat shellfish, and I
Yeah.
feel sorry for them because
Our buddy
I
Eric,
could
who found us, been a long time
Yeah.
fan of ours. So thank you, Eric, for finding us here. We appreciate it.
yeah, and no, I feel badly for them because I could easily be a pescatarian. I could give up red meat, but I cannot ever entirely give up fish and shrimp and crab and lobster. I love the stuff, and yeah, that's why I had it for breakfast today.
Did you ever get a chance to stop by a place that's right near Costa's, one of our fine sponsors, which I almost, just bypassed the very nearby and conveniently located Galuppi's last night for the post-tennis bloodbath drinking and eating, and it was recommended to my son, Jesse, that we go to Costa's because I
Yeah.
wanted him to try
Go in there.
anything there.
Get the pasticcio, get the souvlaki,
Yeah,
get the
pasticcio.
spinach pie, or get yourself a nice pizza because they have that thin, crisp New York style pizza with a little bit of a Greek
Good
spin.
stuff, man. Yeah.
Our man Costa, he puts together that spinach and gorgonzola pie. That's absolutely delicious and different. Go to Costa's, check it out. 1940 Northeast 49th Street in Pompano Beach, just west of Federal Highway, just north of Sample Road. They are on all the major delivery apps. If you just want to stay home and have it delivered, you could check out their menu and the delivery options at CostasGreekEateryPizzeria.com. That's Costas with a K, GreekEateryPizzeria.com. You go there, they're going to take great care of you. He might give you a hug. He might smash a plate and say, "Oh,
Yeah, you never know. What
that's
I
goes
like
what-
when he fires a plate.
that's
That
what
is great.
Costas is all about." When you go, just remember to bring your appetite and prepare to be happy because at Costas, they treat everyone like family.
Have you tried that Mr. Shrimp there that's on the corner, though? A lot of people,
No.
favorable reviews on Let's Eat South Florida. Mr.
That's
Shrimp.
a new kind of
Big,
mini
new-looking place, yeah.
mini chain. It's opened up, I think, also in Pembroke Pines besides Pompano, and it looks like a Cajun / Asian shrimp. The menu looks a little bit like it has some seafood boils and also the po' boys and things like that. But I have not been in there yet, and I'm going to have to get in there soon. I did go when I was in Naples over the weekend visiting a friend last week. Mr. O1 Pizzeria, they've been opening up everywhere. Their first one was in Miami Beach. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. We're out of time for today. I was too busy stuffing my face with lobster, Defo.
You get all
and,
bent out of shape whenever you start, gorging
tomorrow-
yourself on the show.
Today we had lobster for breakfast. Tomorrow we're going to have ice cream for lunch. I'm looking
Nice.
forward to getting out to Wilton Creamery with Nicky Mohan and the Visit Lauderdale crew. That's going to do it. If you want to join us tomorrow, 12 to 1, Wilton Creamery right there on Wilton Drive in Wilton Manors. For today, for Defo, Lubie, and myself, this is Mike Mayo on the Lunchbox saying thanks for tuning in, and remember to enjoy every sandwich.